Hello. Kaushik, can you hear me, Andy? Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, Andy. All right. Okay. I'm sorry again. I just went outside. So it became a bit late. Money faster. Okay.
Okay.
Let me share my screen, Andy. Let me know once you are able to see my screen. Okay?
Mhm. Yeah, I can see now.
You can see, right? Kaushik, do you
Yeah.
have any doubts before we proceed in yesterday's class and all? Do you get a chance to visit those those artifacts and
లేదండి యాక్చువల్లీ నిన్న అంతా కొంచెం అర్జెంట్ ఇష్యూ వచ్చింటే అంటే అర్జెంట్ వర్క్ ఉంటే దాని మీదనే అయిపోయింది నాకు డే అంతా.
okay. So,
బట్
మీకు any doubts ఏం లేవా అయితే?
ప్రస్తుతానికి అది
Okay, let
చూసుకుంటాను నేను టైం పెట్టుకొని చూసుకుంటా.
and let's start. No worries, like we will spare అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీకు అంత పెద్ద డౌట్స్ ఉండేవి కూడా ఎక్కువే ఉండదు.
యా ఓకే.
I'm sharing. Ivala, I thought of starting with the also I thought of starting with the what we call databases. I mean, we have discovered like what is you know one second.
యా
Something. Open office మళ్ళీ అడుగుతుంది ఏంటి ఏరియల్ పోస్ట్ అంటుంది. Right. So we are at day 4 of day 5, day 6. We were done with all this normalization, normalizations, data models, and all that stuff, right? Dimensional modeling, the system and all. Okay. So schemas will be covering it later point of time. I told I think we were discussing what is a schema also. Okay. It's collection of tables that we had discussed about in the schema. Okay. And when so why do we use normalization? Normalization is a process or technique to eliminate or avoid the data redundancy. Either if we cannot eliminate the 100% of data, we will be eliminating the we are trying to optimize the redundancy of data, right? That is for normalization. First, 1NF is what and actually discussed What is first normal?
ఫస్ట్ నార్మలైజేషన్ అంటే టేబుల్ ఆఫ్ కంటెంట్స్ అంటే ఓన్లీ వన్ టేబుల్ ఉంటుంది.
Data will be maintained in data should be
Um,
maintained in the form of tables, and it should be uniqueness will be defined at the tuple level, like record level
yeah.
in the tabular format, and the uniqueness of the data is identified at the record level, right? I
Yeah.
have shared you the documents and all, right? The PPTs and all. Okay.
Yeah.
And 2NF?
2NF అంటే అదే 2 డిఫరెంట్ టేబుల్స్ ఉంటాయి. దాంట్లో there is one
key.
common
Two or
common
more
field
tables are related to a common
Listed
key
by
or a
the-
candidate key. Okay. The first one is it should be in 1NF. Okay. The first it should be if a table is in 2NF, first condition is condition 1 is it should be in 1NF.
1NF, like 2
Right,
tables
first
in
normal
1NF.
form. And then we will have to insert 2 or more tables or joined through a common key
Okay.
or a candidate key. Okay, meaning we are establishing the relationship between 2 or more tables, right?
Yeah.
And here the transitive dependency fields will not be eliminated and all. 3NF, what is 3NF only? Condition is it should be in 2NF. First condition 1 is.
Yeah.
Okay. All the transitive dependent fields will be maintained as a separate table or a separate entity, right? 3NF ఏంటంటే all transitive dependent fields, meaning transitive dependency in the sense like if A is dependent on B, B is dependent on C, then A is also dependent on C, right? Something like we have seen zip code is maintained with the two.
Okay.
All transitive dependency fields should be maintained in a separate table. Okay. This is about the normalization that we discussed on Saturday. Okay. Now let's go back.
Yeah.
What is a data definition language? Okay. Basically, database part 2. Your database is divided into 3 parts, Sandy. First of all, what is that? 3 parts: DDL, DML, DCL, right? DDL, we do call it as a data definition language. This is 421, let me say as 421 and 422. 422. DDL is a data definition language. Meaning we are defining the data. Okay. Data definition language. We are defining the data. How are we defining the data? Okay. What are all the definitions? Meaning like, how do you create a table? How do you alter a table? How do you drop a table? This is known as a data definition language, basically. We are creating the data. We are altering or modifying the data. Alter or modify a table. How to drop a table. Okay. Whatever, this is all about the schema of the tables that we are discussing about the schema of the tables. Here we are not doing anything with respect to the data. Okay. Schema of the table. What is schema? Structure or collection of the tables, right? Schema is known as the table structure, basically. Database schema is collection of tables or objects, database objects. Collection of database objects. I think I've shown you yesterday in SQL what are the different SQL objects. Different SQL objects are గుర్తున్నాయండి. What are the different SQL objects?
Different.
One is a table. Another is
Oh,
views.
views. Okay. Yeah.
Views, table,
And
and
tables,
synonyms,
view, synonyms.
indexes,
Okay. Yeah. Indexes.
stored procedures, functions,
Procedures. Stored procedures.
stored procedure, functions, and triggers. These are the different types of schemas that we do have. And sorry, SQL objects we do have. Okay.
Okay.
So
Functions.
all this collection will be resided in the schema.
Okay. Tables, views, synonyms,
So
indexes,
tables, views, synonyms, and all. Okay. The
functions.
structure, it defines the structure of the SQL object, basically. Okay. Triggers is also one of the SQL object. I'll tell you what is the not trigger in view and all at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we are defining the language, basically data definition language, what it will do, DDL language, it is going to create, alter, drop, or truncate. Okay. Drop or truncate. Both drop a table or a truncate a table. Both serve the same purpose.
Truncate అంటే డ్రాపటబుల్ delete అని
Sorry,
truncate
can
అంటే
you please a bit louder? 1 second.
trunk yeah
Yeah, tell me.
truncate అంటే delete అండి
Truncate అంటే
కదా
delete or truncate ఉండొచ్చు. Truncate table కూడా చేస్తాను. Okay. Delete
అంటే
is a different. I'll come to that part. Delete will serve as a different functionality. Okay. Truncate table, what it will do? Truncate, drop, delete. These three I'm going to explain. What is the difference between drop, truncate, delete?
okay
Okay. Deleting the data. Drop is also like a deletion of the data. Okay. What it will do? Create a table. With examples, we will explain now. This is my SSMS. Okay. Now, what do we mean by defining the objects? We are not going to talk about anything about the data right now. Okay. What we are doing is, hey, my table should have 3 columns with the data types. These data types. So for that, you will have to create a table first of all. You are creating a storage location with the appropriate data type and all. Any table or schema will contain what? Take an example of any table. Okay. It contains what? Rows and columns. Along with rows and columns, it needs to instruct the user what type of data it is going to store. Okay. These are all the databases, right? This INF is one kind of database that we are having. And here tables is one of the objects, SQL objects. This DBO dot will be the schema. With schema. Okay. In real time, it would be like, your suppose you're working on health insurance, right? So health insurance, health dot something like that, it will come, the table name. Okay, health dot or HTH dot or HLT dot, some abbreviation corresponding to that particular table, it would come. Okay, particular domain, subject area, sorry. Okay. So we see how the tables are going to be created. These are the system tables. So basically they will come along with the software itself. And these are the user-defined tables that you can create these tables. Okay. Any of these tables that you can create. Okay. Now, if I'm just going with this database, system database, master database, here itself you can create a table. how do you create a table? What is the syntax? Okay, I have created SRC employee table. Let me see, how can I write that syntax and all? Okay, create table, table name, and what will be there typically in a table? The column names that you are going to define. Okay, here, these are all the different column names and the data type that you are going to store and the constraints, if any. Okay, it should not allow any null values. So not null constraint I have implemented. Okay, the first name, which is of data type, meaning like envarchar, in the sense it is going to accept alphabets as well as numeric values. Okay, last name, address, state, ship, and all. This age, gender, email, all these details. And if it is, you will have to clearly mention or specify the type of value it is going to store. Okay, either it is not null, or if you are not specifying anything clear, right, then it can be what we call, it allows null values also. Okay, so let me write it. Again, when you are creating the table itself, again, you have a concept known as constraints also, that we will be discussing when constraints would come. Okay, how do you impose constraints? Ensure
Okay.
that not, I mean, in SQL terms, like, not null or blank spaces, it's not a constraint, but however, it is should not, whether it allows null values or it is not allows null values. There are three ways to create the table, basically. Okay, what is the first way to create the table? Using the command create table.
Create table.
In syntax, I will be saying create table. What is the table name? Say an example, SRC underscore EMP underscore 1 only, or the student table we can create STD. Okay, create table, table name, SNO, student number. What would be the data type of the student? Anything. Data type is int. Integer values. S name, varchar, or envarchar. In SQL, envarchar in the sense it stores alphabets. 50 length. Okay, envarchar. The maximum length is 40, meaning it stores less than or equal to 40 characters. And then marks. Meaning maybe each subject also you can just say English. Anything else it is there in student record? Okay, percentage. Okay, I'm not going to subject. Subject. SUB and varchar of 40. We are just creating a structure over here. Remember, we are not inserting any data yet. Okay.
Okay.
And then CGPA or date of join. Date of join is of date type. Okay. And if I say that, that is a CGPA or something. Okay. CGPA is of the type decimal. I'm just mentioning. Okay. I will have a discussion on these values, like what is a decimal data type and all that stuff also going forward. We will be discussing that. Create table, table name, simple, serial number, int, and it should not allow not null. It should not allow any null values, basically. Okay. I'm just creating and you can execute that statement. So it command created successfully. We have just created the structure of the table, SRC underscore stud. Under which database it has created? Under the master database it has created. We need to ensure this also, master database or any other database. Typically in your real-time system, you will be working with your databases on the schema of the database, but you will not be working on the master database. Okay. And we will not be creating the tables also, remember. If they have given any DDL structures, then we will be executing in conjunction with the dev team. Now let's see whether the table was created or not under tables object. Yes. Okay. The table is created, create table, table name, but there is no data over here. Okay.
Okay.
There is no data over here. Data will come as part of DML commands. DDL, DML, and there are three different types of languages. I mean, basically SQL is divided into three, right?
Okay.
SQL divided into three. What are they?
DDL, DML,
DML,
DCL.
DCL.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the TDL languages? As told, create or alter, modify, and drop or truncate. Okay, let's see then how we justify this. Select star from SRC stud. The structure is created, but however, there is no data, right? There is no data over here. Now what do we do? We need to insert this data. Okay, page following this one. Okay, so this select, insert, update will come as part of DML. Select, this DDL is create, alter, drop, right? Drop or truncate. We'll be explaining this. What DML will consist of? Select,
Select,
inserts,
drop,
update, delete. Okay, I'll tell you how delete became a DML statement. Okay, select, insert, update, delete will be the DML statements.
So
Okay,
what is the full form of DML?
data manipulation language.
Manipulation language. Okay.
Okay, you can manipulate the data. You wanted to retrieve the data by using joins, you can use that, right? Select. You want to update the data, you can manipulate the data. Okay, data
Okay.
manipulation language. Select, insert, update, delete. Okay, and now
No.
DCL is something like about the security of the data. Who can read what? What are all the permissions that we need to give it to whom? All this stuff will be defined in the DCL ones. Okay. Data control language. How can you control the data basically? This is known as data control language. How can you control the data? Basically using something like, security purpose, like commit, rollback. So you are committing the transaction, meaning you are writing it into the database. Your role, this is all grant, revoke, DCL or granting the permissions, grant or revoking the permissions mostly. Okay. There is one more language known as, commands known as TCL, transaction control language. For each transaction that happens, even in Oracle or SQL also, we will have to instruct the computer to write it on the database. Otherwise, what will happen when you are just simply writing it, except SQL Server, everything is not auto-update, meaning you will have to explicitly commit the transactions, commit to like whatever you have written on the database, right? By using the commit command. Those are known as transaction structured query language commands, TSQL commands. Okay.
Okay, TSQL.
Yeah, this is a TCL transaction control language command, which are commit, rollback. Okay. So grant, revoke are the ones that you are going to give the permissions to certain user, read-only permissions. You can use the grant command, or you want to revoke for the particular user, set of users, you can use revoke command also, grant, revoke. Okay.
So there will be separate team for that DCL security, or it looks by the ETL tester or someone like.
We do call them as a security. This will be used for security purposes. Okay.
Yeah, so there will be separate team for that, is it? Generally.
Team in the sense usually build team or infrastructure admin team will do that, DBS.
Okay.
These people, data manipulation and DDL will be defined by the developers, but mostly DCL will be controlled by DBS. Even DBS also can create the tables and all that stuff. But if there is any programming and all, developer is going to do that. That will be taken care by the developer. Okay. Typically, DBS and DBS has the higher knowledge compared to developers, but developers will focus on the functionality wise, functional knowledge. Okay. They will be mostly focusing on select, insert, update statements, delete statements.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what is the syntax we have seen? Create table, right? In SQL, there is another way to create the table also. How do you create a table? Tools. Okay. Click here, new, right click, new table.
Okay.
Okay. Here you have given the column names. Say the same STD serial number. Here the data types, different data types is coming. Okay. Overall,
It is.
it is over here. The
మరి మనం ఇందాక మీరు క్రియేట్ చేసింది ఏంటంటే అది స్కీమా
no, అది కూడా table. Can you using the command I have created?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there are 2 to 3 ways. ఇప్పుడు graphical user interface తో క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను. Select the table, right click on it, create a
new
table. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll get it like this. This also you can create. Usually the DBS will create like that only. Or they have DDL scripts that are available, they can be going with this. Rendo table. Okay. Suppose ఇక్కడ కూడా నేను కాలమ్ నేమ్ ఇచ్చేస్తున్నాను, కానీ గ్రాఫికల్ యూజర్ ఫేస్. ఇక్కడ మీరు డేటా టైప్స్ ఇక్కడ డైరెక్ట్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసేసుకోవచ్చు మీరు ఇంట్ అని. ఇక్కడ చూడండి ఎల్లో నల్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ నల్స్. ఎల్లో నాట్. ఇక్కడ మనం ఎల్లో నల్స్ అని తీసేస్తాము బికాజ్ ఇట్ ఇస్ ఎ నాట్ నల్ ఫీల్డ్ కాబట్టి. ఓకే.
అంటే కంపల్సరీ ఫీల్డ్ అని కదా అర్థం?
కంపల్సరీ ఫీల్డ్ అని కాదు. It will it should not allow any null value. Correct. When you are inserting the record, right, you cannot omit that particular field. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Not null in the sense. Allow nulls in the sense we are removing means it is a mandatory that you have to provide the value. Even if it is 0, that is fine because 0 is not equal to null. But if you are omitting that field, right, that will be considered as a null value. Then it is going to throw an error. System exception. Okay, when you are inserting. So, ఇది కూడా మీకు table creation part. Okay, invalid data type. Oh, sorry, my bad. Data type is nvarchar of 15. Percentage is real. Okay, here it is okay for me to allow the null values. Okay, and you can just save this. Student table through interface. GA, graphical interface. One way we have created through script and another way we have created through the table structure. Either ways you can create. When create student interface, STD, this one, and we have created this table. What is that? Select star from SRC underscore
star. Yeah.
Okay. And we have created. So remember, table creation in the sense we are not going to insert the data. We are defining the outliner of the structure of the table, right? Okay. It should be a data type should be int, meaning character should not be allowed, right? And it should not allow any null values, meaning I will not have to omit this particular one. If I omit, then I will get an error. Okay. And similarly, it should contain, this field should contain maximum of 50 characters. Name field should contain. Okay, that is inclusive of your spaces and all special characters also. But it should be the length of the name should be 50 characters. Right?
Okay.
So all these things we are defining basically when you are creating the table. Okay, meaning we are not yet inserting the data, we are just creating the table.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you create a table, you realize that it should not allow, serial number should not allow null values, or CG page should not allow null values. Okay. So in
Okay,
such
okay.
case, what you need to do, you need
Yeah.
to modify the structure of the table, alter the table, right?
Okay,
You will have to
okay.
modify the structure of the table because you want to insert that kind of data. Basically, your structure should support. I want to fit, in 2 BHK apartment, all my 3 BHK or 4 BHK place, right? It will not allow. Similarly,
Yeah,
you are defining, okay, I need a table like this so that I can insert my data. Okay. I can utilize
yeah.
it for the storage of the data. Okay. All right.
అండ్ ఇఫ్ మనం ఇంటర్న్ పెడితే లైక్ లెటర్స్ ఎంటర్ చేస్తే అది తీసుకోదు కదా?
ఏదండి తీసుకోదు. అవి డేటా టైప్స్ లో చెక్ చేద్దాం ఇంటర్న్ పెట్టినప్పుడు. మీరు టేబుల్స్ లో
Yeah.
చూస్తే ఇప్పుడు లేదు కదా, మన ఇన్సర్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ చూసేప్పుడు చూద్దాము. ఫస్ట్ ఒకసారి
Yeah, yeah.
alter అది చేసేద్దాం. ఓకే, వి విల్ డోంట్ వరీ, వి విల్ బి కవరింగ్ ఇట్ ఎక్స్టెన్సివ్లీ. మనం డేటా టైప్స్
Yeah,
చాలా
yeah, sure.
ఓకే. ఆల్టర్ ఏంటి అంటే మీకు టు స్ట్రక్చర్ ద డేటా అన్నమాట. ఓకే, గ్రాంట్, రివోక్, కమిట్, రోల్ బ్యాక్. ఓకే, వి హ్యావ్ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్. అవి కూడా మనం ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ చూద్దాం ఒకసారి.
Yeah.
సపోజ్ మీరు ఎస్నేమ్ సబ్జెక్ట్ ఎన్మార్కర్ ఆఫ్ 40 అని ఇచ్చారు. నేను either 40 లెంగ్త్ 50కైనా మారుద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను, లేకపోతే CGPA డేటా టైప్ అయినా చేంజ్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను. ఓకే, యూ వాంట్ టు ఇన్సర్ట్ అండ్ సి అండి ఒకసారి డేటా, లేకపోతే ఆల్టర్ చేసేసాక చూద్దాం. హౌ డు యూ డూ అండ్ ఆల్టర్? ఇన్ SQL సర్వర్ వి యూస్ ఆల్టర్ టేబుల్ అండి. ఇన్ Oracle అండ్ ఆల్ వి విల్ బి యూసింగ్ మోడిఫై కమాండ్ అన్నమాట. ఓకే, సో ఆల్టర్ టేబుల్, table name,
Yeah.
which field you want to alter? Or maybe you want
Maybe
to
we
add
add a
one
date of
more.
birth.
You can add
We
also.
add a date.
Table name, modify or add is the key command అన్నమాట. Modify,
Okay.
add. Suppose I want to add one more table, one more field also. Okay, alter table, table name, add. Percentage is not there. CGPA is only there. Percentage should be your decimal. Again of 10,2. You can alter the table by adding one more column. Okay, under SRC stud percentage table with the data type 10,2. Or you can add or modify the column name, alter table, SRC stud, modify which column you want to modify. Say instead of date of join, okay, I want to say it as a modified DOJ as date of birth.
Yeah.
Then let's see. I'm going to execute this statement. Semicolon is not mandatory, but in Oracle it is mandatory.
Okay.
The command has executed successfully. Now, if you see, refresh the table and see, you will be able to see one more column known as percentage, which was not there earlier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, percentage and date of birth. But modify కూడా చేసాం కదా date of
Modify
joining.
చేయలేదు ఇంకా, ఇది ఒక్కటే ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేశాను, హైలైట్ చేసి టైప్ చేశాను అంతే.
Okay, 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 okay.
ఆల్టర్ టేబుల్ మోడిఫై కాదు, ఇది ఆల్టర్ కాలమ్ అనుకుంటా. ఆల్టర్ కాలమ్ ఆర్ ఆల్టర్ కన్స్ట్రెయింట్ అని వస్తుంది. ఇది యాడ్ కి మీరు యాడ్ కాలమ్ పెట్టక్కర్లేదు, బట్ కాలమ్ ఆల్టర్ చేస్తే మాత్రం కాలమ్ అని వస్తుంది. ఓకే, కరెక్ట్. ఆల్టర్ టేబుల్ కాలమ్, Date of joining, date of birth కింద మార్చుదామని. Cannot find data type. Okay, DOJ. Second, the syntax of alter column is a little confusing for me. Okay, you want to modify the date as the alter column, DOJ member. Alter table name, alter column, DOJ as date we have given. Now we are saying it's a add column DOB. Instead of date, I want to modify it as a int value. Okay, the data type I would like to modify it as a int. Then
Okay.
alter column. If we came the date ఉంది కదా ఇప్పుడు, if I just refresh it, see, this is a date, DOJ. Now what I'm doing, alter table name, alter column, DOJ, int value you want to give, or nvarchar value directly. Nvarchar of
Yeah.
50, meaning alphanumeric values. Okay, I can just change the data type name also here. Okay,
Mhm.
now if you refresh and see, it will be nvarchar. Similarly, you can add columns or even modify the columns, drop columns, anything that you can do using the alter table command.
Yeah, but date of joining బదులు డేట్ ఆఫ్ బర్త్ అట్లా మార్చాలి అంటే
అది రీనేమ్
మార్చచ్చు.
వస్తుందండి. అది ఇక్కడ మీరు వెళ్ళి రైట్
Rename ఓకే.
లేదా ఈ కాలమ్ ని డ్రాప్ చేసి ఇంకో కాలమ్ యాడ్ చేసుకోమని చెప్పాలి. రిమెంబర్,
ఓకే. ఓకే.
whenever you are working on an alter table, right? Please make sure that there is no data exists. Okay, data unna sare, what I meant was, even if data exists also, ensure that that existing data is not hindering this conversion. What do I mean by that? Suppose I have altered the column as nvarchar now. Okay, so నేను nvarchar type of data enter చేశాను. దాన్ని డేట్ ఫార్మాట్ లోకి మళ్ళీ నేను ఆల్టర్ టేబుల్ చేశాను అనుకోండి, ఈ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ డేటా కన్వర్ట్ చేయడం ప్రాబ్లం అయిపోతుంది. యు ఆర్ గెటింగ్ మై పాయింట్? ఇట్ కెనాట్ కన్వర్ట్ ఇంప్లిసిట్లీ. ఓకే, టేక్ an example, column
Okay.
is student number is an int that should not be like, it should not allow any null values. So you have the data, like you have inserted 1, 2, 3 records in student, SRC student, and now you thought of changing that to, into varchar. I think it will happen. So say a student name is kind of, subject is kind of nvarchar, right? You have written English, text, English, Hindi, and all that stuff. But you want to assign some code to subject rather than storing the character, text, and all. You want to change it to int, right? Nvarchar to int, it will not allow. Implicit conversion is not possible, right? Character to int is not possible. Date to int is not possible. However, character to date is possible, but date to character is also, date to character is possible, but character to date to certain extent it is possible. Okay, meaning like, it should have, if it is kind of 6 + 4, 10 characters, it is going to allow. Okay, the date format.